Okay, real quick. What's your favorite PlayStation?
I mean, might just be recency bias, but like before, like the fact that I will, if I'm not at home for like an extended weekend and I hear my PS4 beat for the first time, I get like really like I feel it physically.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like the PS3 was great. It was, I mean, okay, no, if we're gonna be real about this, the PS3, like I had an Xbox for the first half of that generation. I was shit on people with PS3s because the PSN was just down for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I think the PS3 had the most issues, but in a weird way, I think it still might be my favorite, honestly.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, first of all, if we're just talking about like impact overall, like the PS4 has largely just continued what the PS3 did and not like really changed it that much. Like I feel like it's just like a beefed up, like improved version of the PS3, whereas like PS3 like added like wireless controllers, online functionality. It's a Blu-ray player and like you can stream video to it and all that stuff. PSN at the time was like actually an upgrade to your internet. Like the fact is you could do free, you could play online with people for free, which was awesome.
But that's also why they got hacked.
That's like,
because they didn't have protected servers.
Well, still, my point is that's like a lost thing. Like that won't exist anymore, and I've accepted that. Like even Nintendo's charging people now, which is fine. But just I and like as a graphical leap, I think the leap from PS2 to PS3 is bigger than PS3 to PS4.
No, absolutely.
And that goes for that entire generation. Like same with Xbox to Xbox 360 and not GameCube to Wii, but other than that, that was very intentional.
Watching The Last of Us on PS3, like without the remaster to PS4, like that game still looks fantastic.
Well,
like,
and
if you went back to a base
thing.
PS3, that looks fantastic.
That's the thing. Like I even think I play GTA 4 even still, and like GTA 5 definitely is a better looking game, and even then that's a PS3 like that kind of looks better game on PS4. Yeah, exactly.
Crossover.
But if you're driving around in GTA 4 in game at night, like in the nighttime in game, like the lighting and everything is still. I didn't mean like playing.
I know what you mean.
If you are playing it at 12 p.m., even though it's noon in the game, but like the lighting and stuff is still pretty impressive, and the main thing is animations on the PS3 were excellent. Like that's what makes Uncharted look good.
Getting wet, yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes Last of Us still look good. That's what makes the GTA games still look good. That's what makes just a lot of stuff like look better. Like even like the Ratchet and Clank games, like I'm more of a fan of the games on PS2, but those games look fantastic on PS3, and that's like when a lot of those like physics simulations started to really get better too. Was on the PS3. So I think in a lot of ways it might also be the one I put the most time into, just in terms of like I played Oblivion and Skyrim on it, I played Assassin's Creed on it, I played like a lot of stuff that I put 50 or more hours into, whereas like the PS2 it was a lot of like platformers that took me 8 hours and stuff like that. But I think it's more just nostalgia for that era. Like the PS3 era was like incredible, I thought. Like it was like a really exciting time for games.
I think that we're at this point in the tail end of that, because like the last few years with games have been fucking like I mean, starting with The Last of Us for me, like once The Last of Us came out, it became like, oh shit, games have become fucking incredible right now. And it might have just been like, I'm more mature, so I can like register that games are great and not like spectrobes. But
see, that's funny, because I think like the first game that like probably in the same way Last of Us did for you, like story and like character development wise, like combined with like good animations and graphics, like that kind of like games are this good, like I had that early in the PS3 with GTA 4. That was like the first game where I was like, oh shit, like games in like can be like artistic, adult. Like I played like Shadow of the Colossus and stuff before, and I consider that like one of the most artistically successful games of all time. But it was not in like, it was much more like gamey in that it like you had to fill in a lot of the blanks for yourself, and it was like very weird and different, and like clearly not a lot of games, but like mainstream games now with like PS3 and PS4 can like be like that, really that good.
I'm trying to think of like the games that I'm like, because as you brought up just earlier, like game to me, The Last of Us, like before God of War, Last of Us was probably my favorite game of all time. I mean, whenever I say favorite game of all time, someone could just like throw out from the side, like, what about Smash Bros? And then it immediately changes the conversation. But like, I don't know. I'm really like Dishonored came out before Last of Us. I loved Dishonored, but it wasn't like a like mind blowing experience. Like it was very, 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 very fun. I'm like, I feel like I should have more affinity toward the PS3 in that whole generation. It's a blur now. Like,
I think with the exception of like really Naughty Dog, just The Last of Us and Uncharted, like there was definitely good God of War games on the PS3, but that series started on PS2, and it was only really God of War 3 that killed it on PS3. And now that's kind of been overshadowed by the reboot on PS4. And like Infamous was popular, but I feel like it wasn't as big as like Uncharted. I think like exclusives wise, like PS3 is probably the weakest. But like, does really anyone care about Resistance?
No, okay, so that's my thing. The reason I think the PS4, like, include with all of the recency bias, whatever, they gave us Aloy, like they gave us Big Daddy Kratos, they gave us like, or they're going to give us as much as like Last of Us was a PS3 game, like I replayed that game in PS4 and then played most of the multiplayer in PS4. So like the majority of my personal time spent in The Last of Us is in PS4. So like, like I'll say that. And like, I don't know. Like Aloy for me is like such a big deal. Like I fucking love Horizon Zero Dawn. I can't wait for the sequel that we know is coming because Janina Gavankar at whatever fan event spilled the beans. And Janina Gavankar is she's the actress that was the main character in Battlefront 2.
Oh, yeah, she's cool.
I'm just like, you'll know her face when you see her.
She was on The League.
I keep hearing about that. I need to go back and rewatch The League because I've seen bits and pieces here and there. But long story short, she was at a fan event or something, and she's in Horizon Zero Dawn, and a character was like, "Oh, I loved a fan. I loved your character in Horizon." Blah 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 blah. And Janina was just like, "Oh, just wait until you see what we do in the next one." Before anything was said, and we all knew it was probably going to come. Like, if the PS5 comes and goes with that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on there, then I will.
I doubt it. I'm sure it will, because this game sold well and everything. I feel you. PS4 is like, I mean, especially in the last like few years, like Spider-Man is still, I love it. Uncharted 4 is like, just as good as the other ones. Like I'm just looking right now at like the exclusives I have.
Persona 5, which you haven't played.
I haven't, but I've heard excellent things about. I mean, and then, like, in terms of multi-platforms, like, I feel like the PlayStation 4 got, probably because it was leading most of the generation, like, it got cut a lot of good exclusive deals that that I feel like the 360 was getting more of early on, like, back in that generation.
Honestly, I think it had to do with just the early install base, because when the Xbox and the PS3... When the 360 and the PS3 launched against each other, the PS3 was like $600 and the Xbox was like $350 or some shit.
Yeah.
And then with this generation, the PS4 was like $400, and then the Xbox was a solid $5. And they also, but Xbox also just tripped, fell, and then ate their own shit this generation from the beginning. Because like, hey, we're gonna bundle in the Kinect. None of you want the Kinect. It's still gonna be there, and it's gonna cost $100 on top of what it normally would be. And then, hey, so we're not going to have the Kinect in there anymore. The price cut's going to be not as much as the PS4 is still, right? Like PlayStation just did a great job of like staying ahead of the curve this generation. I'm so fucking excited to see what's going to happen with like Project Scarlet or I can't remember what they're calling it. Yeah, like the
Xbox 2?
Yeah, maybe? The Xbox 2. I have no idea. Xbox Forever.
Yeah, I still will. Maybe this is a hot take, I don't know, but because it wasn't at the time. But Xbox One to me is still a horrible, horrible name. I know why they did it, but I just think like it is like so stupid. It's like I have the same issue with like Battlefield 1. Like I get what you're going for, but don't. Like this is confusing and dumb. Like come up with a different way to do it.
I
think it's confusing. It's like as confusing to me as like Wii U. Like
the Wii U was just bad, but I think. I mean, I don't know. I like Xbox One. I like the shortened version of just Xbone.
Yeah, I always said that in a derogatory way, though.
I guess I don't know.
As a Sony pony and Nintendo.
What's the Nintendo version as a child of Reggie? As a
Not anymore. As a son of the N.
Son of the N.
Okay.